Making sure all children have a true shot at success, without a doubt, is quite a task to undertake, and that's what's going on at the Family Development Program at UNM. It's been committed to finding this success for kids for the past 30 years and striving to see that every young person has an extraordinary chance to be a learner and treating them as such. Here with more on the program and how the university and this program is benefiting the kids of New Mexico is Lois Vermilia, the director of the Family Development Program at UNM. Lois, good morning. It's nice to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you too, Matt.
Okay, for folks who don't know, tell us, what is the Family Development Program and what exactly does it do?
So we're housed at the College of Education. We're a Center for Excellence in Early Learning. So what does that mean? That means that babies come into the world absolutely avid as learners. And we want to make sure that every child in New Mexico has the chance to be supported by that learning. That's about adults, that's about parents, that's about educators, that's about everybody else in the community. So we work around the state to provide community-based professional development for early childhood, birth into elementary school.
Okay, so what you're saying is you all basically teach the teachers, not just teachers as in maybe preschool teachers or elementary school teachers, but parents as being a very important set of teachers too.
Absolutely, and I appreciate that you say that because the child's first teacher is the parent. And that, parent is maybe the wrong term, it's the entire family.
Sure.
And so how do educators make sure that the kind of relationships we have with parents supports that and really brings the best of research? We know so much now about how young children learn and grow. How do we bridge that so that everybody has access to that knowledge?
Yeah, I think without a doubt, I keep hearing studies that talk about, first of all, the earlier that you can engage children in learning in the home, in school, in preschool, in whatever is important, and that so much of student success is based upon what goes on at home, not just what happens in a classroom. Is that what you all find and what you all preach?
Absolutely, and I appreciate that you're saying it as a younger person. I don't know if you have a family yet, but at some point you might. Picture this. In the first 3 years of life, baby, 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 80% of the brain architecture is laid down. Wow. So we want to be successful in school, we want to be critical thinkers. What are we doing in those first years of life to ensure that happens?
So what kinds of things are you telling teachers and parents and family members right now as you do what you all do all around the state?
So we're very excited. Right now our Office of Child Development, out of state government, has set as its goal that every child in the state of New Mexico will be an engaged learner. What does that mean? That means that children learn by doing what they love most. Being with a parent, being with adults. Relationships are the foundation for learning. On top of that, we go into play because young children learn like little scientists every time they're interacting with anything that's in their environment.
So playtime, I know sometimes maybe people see it as, oh, it's just for fun or whatever. It's really a learning opportunity is what you're saying.
It is. And earlier in your segment you were talking about Christmas shopping. Well,
sure.
How many of us as parents have noticed that when our little ones open up the gift that we selected for them, the child will have far more fun with the box than often what we bought for them.
Yeah,
Why is that? We have to ask ourselves, why is that the case? A box can become a tower, a box can be something to jump over, a box can become a garage for a car. Often toys, as we buy them in stores, are limited. Children love unlimited possibilities for invention.
For the imagination. You got to challenge our imagination,
That's
right?
absolutely right.
Okay, in fact, speaking of imagination, you have this resource center now. It's called the We-Imagination Resource Center. What is it and how do families and teachers get involved?
Yeah, so picture We Imagine Together. That's sort of where the name comes from. It's a center that stands for young children's learning through play. It's not a center for children. It's a center for adults to get them back in touch with what happens when you interact with just fun stuff, rocks, caps, blocks, all kinds of things that don't tell you what it is. You have to invent what it is. That's when children, when they have access to that material, think like young scientists.
Okay, very, very interesting. I want to touch on this really quickly. You all have a book series, and this is great that, particularly in New Mexico, you have these books in both English and in Spanish. Yep. Can parents and teachers go and pick them up? What do we learn in them?
They can come over to our We Imagination Center. They're free because of generous support from the Brendel Foundation.
Awesome.
Another way folks can get involved at We Imagination is we have a volunteer program called Friends of the We. It's kind of like what museums have. You can become a docent, get trained by us, and then really support how young children learn through play.
Okay, very, very cool. You can find out information about all of this and more at our website, krqe.com. We'll link you over to the Family Development Program. I just want to ask you real quick, I don't want to end on such a down note, but it's obvious, I think, to a lot of people that families and kids and success, it's a struggling issue here in New Mexico. What's it going to take to make that better? Is it money? Is it teaching? Is it better teachers? I don't know. What is it, do you
So
think?
my answer to that is it's going to take every single one of us. We have to set, as a community, the priority that young children matter in this state. They are the future of New Mexico. So how we invest in the first years of life, what we do to support teachers, what we do to support parents matters for the future of New Mexico. In fact, every dollar that we spend today in early childhood gets magnified 10 to 15 times in terms of reducing dropout rate, reducing incarceration. I mean, studies show that well. You could do a whole segment on what the research tells us about money in early childhood, changing conditions for long-term benefits to the state of New Mexico.
Okay. Lois Familia, the Family Development Center at UNM. Thanks for what you all do. Thanks for coming in, sharing. Remember, you can go pick up these books, find out more about it at krqe.com. We'll be right back. Come back and visit us soon.
Good. Thanks a lot.